guys, today I'm going to review a Dario Argento film, and this is his latest one called Dark Glasses. Dark Glasses is a 2022 giallo film, directed and co-written by Dario Argento. And this was his first film in 10 years. The last film was Dracula 3D in 2012. His daughter, Asia Argento, also appears in the film, and she's also an associate producer of the film. Music was by Arno Ribottini. The film runs 90 minutes. The film stars Ilenia Pastorelli and Asia Argento. So Dark Glasses is a giallo film that Dario Argento is brilliant at doing. An Italian escort is attacked and blinded by a serial killer in an attempted murder. While escaping the attack by car, she meets a young Chinese boy called Chin, who assists her with her lack of sight. So the plot of this film's quite simple actually. It's just this killer who's attacking these prostitutes, and he's driving this white vehicle, a white van. And Argento wanted him to drive this not very conspicuous vehicle, just a white van, to make it more eerie. And it's all about this girl who happens to get blinded by him in a car accident, and she teams up with this boy who loses his parents in the same accident, and them two are against this killer. That's basically the plot. It's quite a simple plot actually. There's no massive plot twists in this film. However, it's a great comeback film for Argento. So I reviewed his first 3 giallo films on the channel, the Animal trilogy of films. And Argento was the king of horror in the 70s and the 80s. He made these brilliant films like Tenebrae, Deep Red, Suspiria, and his last great film, in my opinion, was in 1987 called Opera, or Turret in the Opera. And ever since then he's gone downhill terribly. However, this is his comeback film. So is it a return to form? Let's find out.
Che cosa si ricorda? Ha detto che è stata inseguita in macchina.
So the film really starts surreal with these people looking up a height, and they're looking at this eclipse of the sun and the moon. And it's a clever way to start the film, because when the actual eclipse happens and everything goes dark, that's when you say the titles of the film. So during the eclipse, when it's dark, you say all the credits. So I thought that was a clever way to start the film, using blackness. Then later we get this really gory death of a prostitute that gets her throat slit, and in graphic detail you see the wounds and the blood oozing out of her. And it's one of those graphic deaths that Argento was brilliant at doing, and it reminded me a lot of the first death in Suspiria. You're confronted by this really brutal death scene where this girl's getting killed right at the beginning of the film, and it puts the audience in an uneasy mood that this is going to be hard hitting. So he doesn't hold back on the gore. However, the strength of this film's the actual characters and the acting and the relationship between them. Ilenia Pastorelli plays Diana, and she's a prostitute that happens to get blinded. And it's a great performance by her, playing a blind woman. It's really difficult for actors to do properly. For instance, they have to be careful with what they look at when you're playing a blind person. So a lot of the time she's got dark glasses on, so you wouldn't know. But it's a very realistic performance. A movement as well, that's very clever. She finds it difficult to move around and she's bumped into things.
Un furgone bianco parcheggiato.
E che c'è dentro?
Nuovo mi sembra.
Nuovo, ma la faccia la vedi?
No, non riesco a vedere, c'è il vetro.
Ma la faccia riesci a
Hey
vedere?
Phil, I wouldn't mind saving me money up to go with that prostitute. She's a better class of prostitute than the buggers round Newcastle. Yeah, you're right there, Bones. They are a bit... I wouldn't know about prostitutes, Bones. And I especially like a breakdown sequence when she first finds out that she's been blinded. She's in hospital and she's told, and she breaks down in tears. I thought that was really good. So you feel sorry for her character. And of course, Ilenia Argento pops up in this film, Dario's daughter. She's been in loads of his films. The Stendhal Syndrome, Trauma. She was in his last one, Dracula. I nearly said Dracula Day 1972. No, Dracula 3D. That was his last film. And at first I wasn't sure it was her. Because she's older, 10 years older. But not just that, but she's got different coloured hair and a different hairstyle. So I had to pause the film to find out if it was her or not. So I looked for the cast, and yeah, it was Ilenia Argento. Hey, Ilenia Argento looks a bit haggard. Like an old bloody woman. I'd still do her like.
Oh my.
So she looks really different, but her performance is good. She plays a sort of like a specialist teacher, showing Diana how to cope with blindness. So she's telling her all about using a stick. She introduces her to this blind dog that plays a big part in the film. The dog's actually good, very well trained. And the child actor who plays Chin, who's his parents were killed in the accident, he's really good as well. It's very difficult to get good child actors. Usually with child actors, they tend to grate on you if they're not very good. But this kid's really good. I was impressed. Another good thing's the music score for this film. It's an electronic score, and it sounds like in places like a heartbeat. Do, 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 do. And that puts you on edge as well, especially when it's a tense moment. When, for instance, she's getting chased by the killer, and you hear this background music. Boo, 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 boo. Sounds a lot like theme that Dario Argento used, Goblin. Sounds a lot like Goblin score. Well, it was really well done. One of the downsides for there's the Blu-ray. I hope you can see it all right. Dark glasses. One of the downsides is the film's in Italian, so there's subtitles, which in a way sometimes subtitles are a good thing, so you can hear the actual native language spoken. But I do tend to like having it dubbed, because with subtitles your eye line's got to read throughout the film, and sometimes you miss valuable information on actors' faces because your eye has to go down to read the subtitles. It's only a fraction of a second, but sometimes it can be a little bit irritating when you miss something on the screen. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Do people like subtitles, or would you prefer a film dubbed? Leave your comments below, because it's an interesting question. So a lot of people do tend to like subtitles. I suppose it is more realistic. And also sometimes dubbing. You can get some lousy dubbing. The final of the film's really gory as well. There's a great death sequence. I'll not reveal who the killer is or anything that happens at the end of the film. Very tense final it was. So overall I was impressed by it. It really is a return to form by Argento. It's gory, it's fast moving. The plot's somewhat simplistic though. I would have preferred massive plot twist. I do like a good plot twist, but you don't get any of that in this film. But it is tense. It's a good suspenseful film. I wouldn't put it as one of his classic films though. It's nowhere near as good as films like Suspiria, Tenebrae or Deep Red. But it's a lot better than what we've had recently by him. It's probably maybe his best film since Opera. Doesn't really say much, because of a lot of his recent stuff has been pretty poor, but this is a return to form. So out of 10 I'll give this a good 9. 9 out of 10. But I do think boys do like it. I thought it was an excellent film, Phil. That Dario Argento's a sick bugger. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. Like, subscribe and share. Bye everybody, bye. Hey Phil, I've got a date with that blind prostitute. I've got my Monopoly money ready. Yeah! She'll not bloody know. I might stop half fucking wake.